Our next wee project is to fit this rear door ladder on the barn doors at the back. It's a Vanguard one. So on project 3, the back ladders, here's the components, which I'm just going to go through and check. So I've got it all laid out. Nuts and bolts, Allen key, sticky pads, brackets, and ladder. It says I need a 9mm drill and a 4mm. There you go. Also a 13mm spanner. So there's my kit. Tape measure and a battery drill. It says the first step is to take the top and bottom panels off, so that's what I'll do. Getting this panel off is the same as the other side. It just pops open on these yellow plugs all the way around. There's no handle to take off on this one. And there we go, easy enough to get off that one. Storing them in the back here. According to step 3, you get the inside of the door, and this bar here goes on the internal side of the door frame. So I would say it's there, and then we just mark up the holes. Okay, the holes all lined up, marked up, and this is 8mm bolt, so it's the 9mm hole. Next step is to get the sticky rubber and stick it on the back of that bracket. And fix this up. Drill the hole and fix this up. This is going to be my first hole drilled in my Vivaro van. A bit daunting, but it's got to be done. Here she comes. So obviously I'm just doing it with a 4mm pilot hole first. Okay, both pilot holes drilled. So for the 9mm, I'm going to drill from the outside in, just so don't leave any big burrs on here. Nine mil holes drilled. And then just offering up the bracket on the inside, the holes line up, thankfully, because when you look at them like that, they look as though they're a bit off, but that's the bracket. So you see what happens on the inside, it leaves the big burrs here, which I'll take off with the file. I didn't want these on the outside, in case I scratch the paint. So this step is to fasten the top bracket onto the door with the holes just drilled. It's the short bolts with a washer and the bracket on the back, just finger tight apparently. I've always liked to put a little bit of grease on all the bolts as well. That's the top bracket fixed up, just loose, as recommended, with the bracket on the back here as a strengthener. I guess if you're really worried about it, you can put some Sikaflex on later, but it's got a rubber seal on the outside, so it should be good. Looks like the next step is to stick the sticky pads on this bracket here, and mark up the holes and then drill them. These are the dimensions, so it's 230 from the edge of the door, 245 from the bottom of the door up to the top of the bracket. So I'm just going to check that with the top bracket just to make sure that's the same. And 230 is right to the edge of the seam here. Edge of the seam here. And the edge of the bracket is, where are we? 230. And then going up to the top of the bracket. Anyway, trust me, it's 245. So line it up and mark the holes. So this step here, step 11, is to drill the holes and fix these brackets. Well, step 10 is drill the holes, which we've done, and fit these two brackets. Alright, that's the bracket in place, bottom bracket, just hand tight. Moving around to inside, and there's the U-shaped bracket. You might want to put a rag in down here when you're putting the nuts on, because I nearly dropped one in, and I think if it got jammed you'd never get it out again. So yeah, just a rag or a towel or something to catch anything if you drop it. Actually says to tighten these up at this point here, so that's what I've done. The bottom bracket only to the minute. So the next bit is to put these two brackets on to the top of the ladder. So 1905 to the left and 1906 to the right, and you're using the top two holes, and then the same for the bottom, using the long bolts. There's no washers on these either, and put them finger tight. So 1905, the number's written on the top of them here, 1906, and the bolts, long bolts go through. Just bear in mind on the bottom ones you miss a hole and you put it in the next two up, whereas the top ones you put it in the top two holes. Finger tight. And I've been putting grease on these bolts as normal. Okay, the all four brackets on for the moment, hand tight. I decided to tighten these up now at the back here, because when you put the ladders on there, it kind of hides these Allen keys at the front, but just be careful that it doesn't move. And see how mine's overlapping the trim, so I need to loosen it off and just readjust that. That's everything nipped up. The ladder's secured. The bolts go through. It goes on the inside of this bracket, not on the outside. And then once everything's nipped up, put these plastic caps on. And Bob's your uncle.
Moving along.